Yes, good morning. We shall begin with today's part under bioinorganic chemistry. Yesterday we have seen that the study of metals and non-metals in biological systems is known as a bioinorganic chemistry, which is a special branch which deals with the study of these metals and non-metals in the metabolic process which are involved in plants, animals, and human beings. We have seen that two types of metals, that is elements, are needed for every living organism: the essential and the trace elements. Those elements which are absolutely needed, or those elements which are absolutely essential to carry out various biological processes, which are absorbed in larger quantities or which are absorbed in major quantities, all such elements are commonly referred as essential elements. We know that the elements which are absolutely needed, those should be in right proportion. The absence or even deficiency of all these elements, they lead to certain hindrance or difficulties for a living organism. So even though the element that is present, it should not show its own mere presence, but it should be present in proper quantities. The deficiency or even the absence, that leads to certain hindrance to our routine life or the metabolic processes. These elements which are absolutely necessary to carry out the metabolism are also known as the major elements. So essential elements or major elements, these are absorbed by our body in large quantities. Yesterday we have seen the example of oxygen, the calcium also. The another part of elements that is needed by our body is in very minute quantities, perhaps sometimes in parts per billion or parts per million, the quantity. So very minute quantities of these elements are required so as to carry out these metabolic processes. So these elements are required in minute quantities or in negligible quantities, and hence all such elements are known as a trace element, because the quantity of all these elements that is required by our body in very trace quantity, and hence are known as a trace elements. In this regard, iodine, selenium, fluorine, boron, these are the some elements which are required in very small quantities or in trace quantities, and hence are known as a trace element. I would like to give you certain, I would like to show you certain diseases if the deficiency or absence of these elements is there. I would like to show you the slide. We have seen yesterday that if iron deficiency is there, then that leads to a disease that is known as a goiter. So this goiter, which is on account of the malfunctioning of the thyroid gland. So for the proper regulation of the thyroid gland, iodine is needed. We have seen this slide also. So this is also one more slide where again goiter is there. This is one more slide the disease that is known as a goiter. Yesterday we have seen that the major elements, the elements which are absolutely needed by our body, those are in large quantities, which are known as the major elements or the essential elements. Here, this is a normal intake that is required for the different ages of the human being. So, for infants, the quantity that is very less, about 210 milligram, which is satisfied by the taking milk. The having human being having, or the infants having the age between 7 to 12, those require 270 milligram per day. These quantities are per day quantities. Between 1 to 3 years, the children, those require about 700 milligram per day because of their various activities. They need more calcium to consume. Between 4 to 8, the quantities are again greater, that is about 1000 milligram, that is about 1 gram that is required to carry out the metabolic processes. Between 9 to 18, 1 gram 300 milligram that is required per day. Between 19 to 15, 19 to 50, around 1000 milligram per day that is required, and above 51 years up to 1200. So this is how the quantity of this calcium that is needed. We have seen the slides for the deficiency diseases of these various, that is iron deficiency disease. Then this is a phosphorus deficiency, which the bones becomes deformed. If zinc deficiency is there, zinc is also needed by our body. If zinc deficiency is there, that can cause so many diseases, particularly the DNA repair cannot be possible. The cell cycle is arrested. Apoptosis, that is one more disease which is concerned with zinc deficiency. And to overcome the difficulty of zinc, we have to include some non-vegetable food, and the beans, the peanuts. So all these food, that is, these are the I think these are the crabs. All these food, they are required so as to overcome the deficiency disease of zinc, or to meet the zinc quantity that is required by our body. Again, copper deficiency, if it is there, then if copper deficiency is there, normally it is shown here that copper plays a very important role in with regard to our central nervous system. So here, these are the some diseases which I have enlisted here due to the deficiency of copper, which is on account of this with regard to the skin. Again, one more, that is, perhaps you might be knowing, aluminum is also required by our body. Aluminum, if the quantity, if it is less, that also causes certain diseases, or if the quantity is more, then the more quantity or increased level of aluminum, that leads to the disease that is known as the Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease, what we call in our language, स्मृती भ्रंश किंवा त्याला विस्मृती असं देखील म्हणतात. So this Alzheimer's disease is nowadays very famous all over the country because of lack of aluminum consumption. Here, this is a paper news in the year 2013 that the Alzheimer's disease, these people, they are lack of their memory. They do not know what they are doing, what they are eating, where they are going. So this is very, very serious. This is one more that is I have read in the Daily Sakar, and here it is shown that जेव्हा आजोबाच आपले नाव विसरतात. So some old people, they also forget their names, they forget their name of the city, and they wonder, or they roam here and there, and they may go some different cities also. So it is very difficult for such Alzheimer affected people to trace out. Here I have shown if arsenic poisoning is there, arsenic poisoning takes place near the mines, because when rainfall takes place on the topmost areas, then this rainwater flows very easily from the top to the fresh water sources. When this water falls on the high altitude areas, this rainwater, they bring whatever come in their way, and ultimately, if mine is there or mining is there, the mining processes, they are having arsenic metal, and this arsenic also carried by the running water. Ultimately, it meets with the freshwater streams, and if such arsenic poisoned or arsenic mixed water, if it is consumed by human being, then again there are very serious diseases. I am having some more pictures here. See here. These are the images which affect the arsenic as a poison on human being. See, these are the some victims of arsenic poison. See, this is a person, when he has consumed the water containing arsenic, he affected severely. Now, if at all the question arises, if at all arsenic is there, how can we remove this arsenic? Arsenic can very well adsorb on cigarette ash. So cigarette ash, the surface of which that is having attraction towards this arsenic, and when such water is there, just we have to pass the water through this cigarette ash, then cigarette ash preferentially retains the arsenic particles and the water becomes sparklingly clear. This is again the diseases which are caused due to arsenic poisoning. See the legs, see the ear of this woman that is severely affected. Then lead poisoning. So nowadays this lead poisoning is also serious, because most of the beauty parlor products, that is cosmetics, those are having this lead in one or the other form. So because of this lead poisoning, headache is there, irritability in eyes is also there, then reduced sensation is also there, aggressive behavior if it is there, now in this case, because of this lead poisoning, lot of diseases related to the central nervous system, they do take place. Abdominal pain may be there, poor appetite, that means the your digestion system that is adversely affected, anemia may be there. So some diseases are also took place in the small children, which I have here mentioned, that is loss of developmental skill during their growing ages, behavior, attention problems are there, hearing loss also takes place, kidney also severely damaged, and intelligent quotient is also uh, reduced to a large extent, and the growth of these children, that is also adversely affected. I have mentioned just now that the cosmetics which are used in various beauty parlors, those contain this lead, and without which the cosmetics cannot be manufactured. So cosmetic manufacturing industry should be controlled, because they are using this lead in one or the other form. I'm having some slides also. See here. This is nowadays a major part of the girls and the women. I have shown the different colors of the lipsticks, but in between this, I have shown one bullet is also, which is used in various guns. So I have shown here the bullet, because the causes or the adverse effect which are caused by the use of excessive use of lipsticks, that is very comparable, similar to that of the damage that is caused by a gun bullet. So for this purpose, I have shown here a bullet also. So one should avoid the excess use of lipstick here. One more slide is there. See this. Here again, the taps that we are using in bathrooms, those taps are coated, are having manufactured by using the lead material or lead salts. So I have shown here all the cosmetics, those are used by the girls and the women. They contain this lead in some or the other form. So here I have shown again a lipstick which I have mentioned as a toxic kiss, because to show the how lead is poison. We are also using the nail paint. These nail paints are extremely pronounced colors, and the nail paint manufacturing industries, they also utilize this mercury. And if at all mercury poisoning takes place, that severely damage our digestive system also. So here again, I have shown certain diseases which are caused on account of mercury poisoning. Here, I have mentioned some 4 diseases of mercury poisoning: the Minamata disaster, the Sandoz chemical pills, Spanish wastewater spill, and Itai disease. Here, these are the 4 diseases which I have mentioned, that these are the diseases which are caused because of the mercury poisoning, because the Itai disease or the Minamata disaster, I would like to mention in few words the Minamata disaster, that in Japan, the electrical equipment manufacturing industries are located near the banks of river and the sea. After the manufacturing processes, they are using this organic mercury compounds as a catalyst during the manufacturing of electrical equipments. And after complete manufacturing process, the wastewater which is coming out of their factories or the industries, thus wastewater finds its way through river water or through the sea water. And as we know, the other countries except to India, they are using seafood as the major food. And when the sea water or river water that is contaminated by this organic mercury that finds its way through fish and the aquatic life. And when these mercury poisoned fishes were eaten up by the people, then sudden deaths took place. So as the river is named as a Minamata, and the diseases which are caused because of the mercury poisoning, and hence it is known as a Minamata Bay disease. So I have mentioned some more diseases here, that which shows that mercury is very poisonous for human being. Now, as we know that all these diseases, they are again the outcomes of either deficiency or certain that is affected by either of these elements. Again, I would like to enlist certain elements which are this is not the slide, some different slide is there, just a minute. I have enlisted around 30 elements where every element has to play a specific indispensable role, without which the metabolic processes are not possible. I have enlisted, I would like to give you some glimpses of these elements. That first element, that is the iodine, because of which the disease that is named as a goiter. The iodine deficiency can be overcome by eating seafood, eggs, milk, and iodized salt. Here I have mentioned The biological role important in functioning of thyroid gland, essential in many organisms. Secondly, selenium. Third is fluorine, and fourth is boron. The first four elements are the trace elements where they have to play an indispensable role during its consumption. So selenium is important constituent of glutathione peroxidase, which is an enzyme that is present in our body. It is having the protection against the aging action of free radical oxidant traces. So there are certain biological terms, those are included, which are very difficult to understand. But as all these elements are trace elements, the quantity of which is very, very less. Boron, fluorine, these are again essential for plants in very minute quantities. Aluminium, it is important in activation of enzymes like succinic dehydrogenase. High concentration leads to Alzheimer's disease and other neurological disorders also. Chromium, it is also essential in glucose metabolism and diabetes, controls lipid mechanism, that is a fat mechanism. Molybdenum, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc, then sulfur, chlorine, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, and the sodium, oxygen, potassium, nitrogen, and iron. So I have mentioned all these elements. I have mentioned few of the elements they have to play a major role in human being as well as in plants and animal life. Here, the point that I would like to highlight here, that we can obtain a sufficient amount of all these elements in our body by including a variety of food in every meal. So one should not eat the same food for a very long period of time. We have to include in our diet variety of food that also helps to overcome the deficiency of either of these elements. Now, there is one again point that I would like to mention, that there are certain alkali metals and alkaline earth metals which have to play again a major role. So I have to give more emphasis on this, because sometimes a long question may be asked. Just a minute. That we have to see the biological role of all these elements. Yes, this is only 2 to 3 elements that we have to enlist here. That biological role of alkaline earth metals. For example, this is alkaline earth metal calcium, second A group element. Here, this calcium has to play again an indispensable role, because without this calcium, our bones and the teeth are not formed. These are the various foods which are very much rich in calcium content. I have named these foods, that is, for example, almond, that what we call as a badam, soya, beans, dairy products, the peas, fish, orange, meat, and broccoli. This is also a plant that is used for diet, which is rich in calcium content. The chief sources of calcium are the milk, fish, meat, fruits, and vegetables, which I have shown here just now. Now, what is a calcium chemistry? Calcium is very, very important metal for health and longevity. That means the increased life of human being is only because of the presence of calcium in right proportion. Also, calcium is a bright and shiny metal like all other metals. About 99% of body's calcium, whatever content of calcium that is there, are from which about 99% of body's calcium is deposited in bones and teeth, and remaining 1% calcium that is present in the body fluids. As we know, our body needs more and more calcium for other than any mineral. So calcium is at the top as compared to its consumption. There are 179 different identified uses of calcium in human body. Calcium also controls the muscle contraction and relaxation. So we are having so many muscles in our body. The contraction and relaxation that is controlled by this calcium. It is also responsible for transmission and other transfer of information between our brain cells. So brain cell, those contain this calcium, they also help in the transmission of certain signals. Calcium also helps in the osmosis and diffusion. As we know, osmosis and diffusion, these are the physical phenomena. That is, as we know, osmosis is nothing but, it is diffusion is nothing but, it is an interpretation of a substance by natural movement of their particles. So when the particles move naturally, it is known as a diffusion. And osmosis is nothing but the passage of a solvent through a semi-permeable membrane into a more concentrated solution. So from low concentrated to high concentration, the passage that find is a calcium. So calcium also controls the rhythm of heart. So the rhythm of heart that is controlled, that is the heartbeat that is controlled by the calcium. It also controls the DNA formation in chromosomes, because the nature of every human being that is controlled by chromosomes, and for proper formation of this DNA, calcium is very needed. Calcium is very important in blood clotting, including the formation and maintenance of bones and teeth. As we know that due to some accident, if at all a wound is there, then blood starts to come out. In order to stop this blood, this calcium plays a very important role in the clotting of blood. That means fibrinogen that is formed on the wound and further leakage of blood that is stopped. Calcium is also main buffer used to neutralize the acids and maintain the proper pH. So in order to maintain the acid and alkali balance of blood, calcium plays a very important role. Now, the second element is known as a potassium and sodium, which are first A group elements, that is the alkali metals. Now here, these are the some sources of sodium and potassium. As we know that in every metal to get absorbed, milk plays a very important role. So everywhere we can find milk. This is kale, cherry tomatoes, that means small tomatoes, perhaps you might be seen in villages. Small size tomatoes are known as a cherry tomato. Then cantaloupe, this is a foreign food. Then broccoli, salmon, that is a variety of food that gives us a proper diet of sodium and potassium. Then yogurt, sweet potatoes, and spinach. These are also some sources of sodium and potassium. These are again certain fruits and the vegetables which also we have to consume in our meals that will overcome the deficiency of sodium and potassium. So common salt is the chief source of sodium. Potassium sources are meat, tea, coffee, milk, fish, banana, and potatoes. So these are to be included in our daily meal. These are differ in their transport ability to penetrate the cell membranes, because the penetration of cell membrane that requires the size. Sodium being small in size easily transports or easily penetrate the cell membrane. Potassium do not penetrate the cell membrane because of larger size. These metals are also differ in their transport mechanism. Sodium ions are abundant outside the cell. They participate in transmitting nerve signals and regulate the flow of water across the cell membranes. So these metabolic processes are properly controlled by the presence of sodium and potassium in right proportion. They also help to maintain the pH of extracellular and intracellular fluid. Extracellular means the fluid that is present outside the cell, and intracellular means the fluid that is present inside the cell. The transport of sugars and amino acids into the cell is also influenced by sodium. On the contrary, potassium ions occur at high concentration inside the cell. So I shall discuss this point in sodium potassium pump process. They also activate many enzymes and participate in the oxidation of glucose to produce adenosine triphosphate ATP. Sodium along with potassium helps in maintaining the viscosity of blood. So viscosity of blood, that is also controlled, a main factor for this sodium and potassium also. So I have enlisted some important uses of all these elements, including the essential elements and the trace elements for the proper understanding. It is rather difficult to mention the particular element in a particular function. So I have enlisted some more common metals which are required by our body and their biological role. So only 1 minute is left. So I would like to stop here.